Copy trading. Does it work? Well, we're going to find out, or at least you guys are going to watch me try and find the answer to that question. So, yesterday, TopOne Futures announced the drop of a new offering, a product they're going to be offering. It is a straight to funded, what is called a pro account. And basically, you're getting all the same benefits of a straight to funded account, but with a trailing drawdown. And now the trailing drawdown is considered a knock, but for that knock, you're getting the plans or the accounts at a much, much cheaper price. Basically, you're able to get the size of account you want cheaper than it would be to go and pay for an eval through Apex, pass the evaluation, pay the PA fee to get the funded account and start trading. So you're basically skipping all those steps and going straight to trading a funded account with trailing drawdown. So there's some negatives about trailing drawdown, and people will complain about it, but again, it's one of those things. I'm gonna go about it and show you and actually trade 7 accounts. So I put up the money, I bought 7 accounts. I believe that the ROI on these accounts is pretty much insane. You have a profit target, you hit it on a 50K on 7 accounts. It's 2,500 an account, so 17,500 would be the payout. Now, in my mind, people complain about a trailing drawdown because you have, if you want to let a trade run for 2, 3, 4, 5 hours and it comes back on you, you're going to lose a big chunk of your drawdown. Now, for me, if you take profits aggressively and manage your trades well and just get in and out in almost a little bit of a scalping strategy and just stack up little base wins, I could see that big payout very clear. So it's something I'm going to do. I started it today. You guys are going to be along with me for this ride. So again, if you are familiar with a trailing drawdown, these accounts are insane. One other thing that they did change or add is they got rid of the consistency rule, and now it's called an equity stability score, which is basically, if some people know what a Sharpe ratio is, it's similar to a Sharpe ratio. All it does, it just shows the equity curve, profit and loss of the trader. And what TopOne Futures has done by using this is it's giving them a much better insight into bringing you live. And it'll set them up for a much easier evaluation to bring you to be a live trader. So basically what it is, your best profit on a day and your biggest losing day. You add those two numbers together, and 30% of your payout target needs to be smaller than that number. So it's very similar to a consistency target, but instead of just based on your biggest day, it's also you're going to add your biggest losing day. So if you have a $500 winning day and a $500 losing day, and those are your biggest winning days and biggest loss days, your equity stability score would be based off $1,000. So on a $3,000 profit target, if your equity stability score is $1,000, that would put you at 33%. You wouldn't qualify for a payout, so it needs to be just under that. Something to keep in mind, but again, I like these kind of things because it's going to keep your losers small and make you force you to take profits aggressively. And I think when you're learning to trade, getting these base hits and taking profits aggressively is a great thing. So right now, 55% off of any size account, including these pro accounts. These pro accounts, you can buy up to 7 accounts. This promo is going to end next Wednesday on the 18th. They might not ever offer 7 accounts again. They're going to go back down to 5 and see how it works out, but you might not ever get access to 7 accounts again. On top of that, I'm doing a giveaway where I'm going to be giving away a 50K pro straight to funded account at the end of this promotion. So every purchase you make is going to get you an entry into the giveaway for this 50K straight to funded account. So, if you're interested in getting an account, even if you don't want a straight to funded pro account, any account, TopOne Futures, use my code TRB, you're going to get 55% off, plus you're going to get an entry into my giveaway. So definitely check it out. And if you want to trade these pro accounts, I highly recommend. You're never going to probably ever see 7 accounts again, let alone the 55% off. So let's get into what I was seeing at the market. We'll go from there, go through the one trade I took. I will explain how I'm going to manage these accounts, how I'm going to trade them, and call it a day. So getting to the desk in the morning, we had this move up yesterday, in the overnight session. And as price opened higher, and again, we're still in this bullish uptrend. We're making these higher lows. You can say it's kind of rangy, and this is something I said, as soon as we have these breakout days, it wants to chop in a range. And look at it's been in this range here. Now going into the overnight session last night, what happens? Sellers step in here at the changeover, buyers step right in. There was no news that I could find, but something obviously must happen, or the buyers just stepped right in and they pushed this thing higher, and here we go. We've taken this range of 60, what do you want to call it? Let's call it 60-30 or something, 60-20. Big move up. Sellers step in, bring the buyers down, and then we get this big move down here into the London session, in the open of the London session. And we're back down here in the previous day's value area low. So these key levels, I think are going to come into play again. But when we have big moves overnight like this, you can expect the next day to be choppy. It's just a trend I've seen in the last few weeks in the market conditions we're in. So not expecting much, but you didn't get a big spillover. And even here again, that's still higher lows. You have this higher low here, but look at this level that we're going to be sitting at. I think until we take these 59.90s, we're not going to see a big significant move down. So again, we're above the previous day's value area high and the point of control. We're sitting at previous day's value area high. I can see price, and look what it did here. Pulled up, pulled back down to the value area low, and then straight through the point of control. Found some resistance at the previous day's value area high. And like I always say, when I see, price movement like this, I could see something down to the point of control and up, down even to the value area low and up. Now, what I would be looking for on the short side, but I still don't see it, so I'm not even really focusing on it at all. But, if we came down to previous day's value area low and then back up to the previous day's point of control and we rejected this level cleanly, see a move down and we get another clean rejection off of this value area low, something like this, like that, down like this, and then I could see a move down. But again, we got to take out these 59.90s in my mind if you really want to be short. So coming into the market, I'm going to be looking for something. Let's see if we can hold this previous day's point of control and we can get a push higher. We got a naked point of control up here at 60.75. It's in sights, but it's 50 points away. So let's see what happens. Let's get into the one trade I took. And here it is. Now, I've traded Apex accounts before, but it's been over 6 or 7 months since I have. I passed Apex evals. I never took a payout from Apex. I actually blew the funded accounts. And so I had an understanding of trailing drawdown, but for me, it just wasn't fresh in my memory. So taking this trade today was a real a refresher. And it kind of, as the week goes on, you're going to see how I manage my trades a little bit differently and start to tweak it based on this trailing drawdown. So as you can see here at the New York Open, we get a hold of all the VWAPs. Price chops around, we get back above the New York VWAP. Beautiful hold of the daily VWAP, and I think this daily VWAP's got some good strength today because we had such a big move in the overnight session. So there's been a fair bit of volume, so I'm going to put some weight on this start of day VWAP. And then previous days New York down here, and then this is the start of week VWAP. So as you can see, price pushes higher, we get higher. I decided to get long here. It's a little premature, but we're above previous day's point of control. We hold this previous day's New York and start of day New York, or start of day VWAP beautifully. I could see this wanting to come off of previous day's value area high and push higher, and I didn't want to miss the move. A little premature. The opening range hadn't set yet. I could have waited for it, and you would have seen I would have got the exact same entry price, just with a little more structure behind me or below me. So I get long 5 micros. Now I'm trading 7 of those 50K Pro accounts. I'm copy trading all 7 of them. 5 micros. I've set these accounts where I don't want to take more than $500 max loss on the day, but I don't want to be really more than $250 per trade max loss. I got an 8-point stop. This sets me up at around, I think it was around 175 was my total risk on this trade, which I was totally okay with. Now, what really got me not fired up, it just got me, everything thinking and everything working in my head is when we made this initial move up and we pulled back down here. I noticed and maybe it's something I didn't really pay attention to with Apex, because I looked at my P&L more after at the end of the day, where on Project X, it's another nice thing about Project X, it's showing you your max loss limit. So basically account balance before it's blown. That account balance was 48,000, and as we pulled back down here, it was $48,084. So I had lost $84 of my drawdown. Now for me, that was a little bit of a wake-up call. And what happened now, as price pulled back here, I didn't get stopped out, but now I'm considering and adding that $84 in that of my drawdown that I've lost into my losing trade if this loses on me. And I'm factoring that in and thinking in my head now, how am I going to manage this? And as price pulls back into profit, I move my stop to break even because I'm just, this drawdown thing, I need to really think about it and watch how it works and understand the mechanics behind it and start to figure things out. So what happens? I put it here into stop, or lock my stop and profit. Price pushes higher. Now I think it pulls back on me. I get stopped out at break even. Even though I got stopped out at break even and I was up, I think $3 on the trade, I was still down almost $100 of drawdown. I think it was like $98 by the time that this all played out. So what had happened is I got a minute to think about it, process it, and kind of understand how it works and start to really understand. You know, we get this beautiful hold of this start of day VWAP. We're back above New York. This is my exact same entry, just now we have structure behind us. So I could have waited for the 15-minute range to set in and get in the same entry, but just have a little more of confluence where that's all setting up nicely. I get in here again. Now I get in 3 micros this time. The reason I did that is I'm technically down $100 in drawdown. So I'm calling that $100 red day so far. I don't want to take more than a $250 loss per trade in these accounts. So I want to bring my risk down a bit. So worst case scenario, if I get stopped out plus that $100 of drawdown I lost, I'm going to be around 250, down 250 on the day, which I'm comfortable with. And as price just, pushes higher, I'm thinking, and I manage this trade, and there was orders up at 60.35 and 60.40 that were coming on the book that I was really interested in. But there was a part of me that just had to say, the whole point of these 7 accounts is just to take these base hits, stack them up, do this consistently over a month or a little bit longer, and then there's that 17.5 payout. So there's no need to race this. What did I do? I pulled my TP down to 60.29.50, which was just above the orders at 60.30, which we were all looking at, and we're thinking price was going to plow through it. Put my TP there. That would have brought me, regained my drawdown and given me another $25 of profit. So I'll explain this in a sec once I close the trade. What happens? Price pushes higher, hits my TP, and look, I'm out. And look what price did after that. It pulled back down. So now instead of being, if I didn't take profits here and I came back to break even, I would have been down $125 of drawdown. And I would have been break even, so it would have been a green on the day, but my drawdown would have been down $125. And what I did by taking this profit here now is I'm up 125 on the day. The account balance is plus 125 on the day, giving me 2K of drawdown from that number versus having a balance where I'm less than $2,000 of drawdown. So I'm back to my original starting point of drawdown, 2K. I'm up on the day $125. 7 accounts, almost $1,000. I'm good. I said, you know what? I locked the accounts out. I got to really wrap my head around this trailing drawdown and slowly get the base hits to get there to the payout. And it was perfect. I couldn't complain. I was one and done in the morning. Like, it seems like a small amount, but you're going to see as we start stacking these small wins and we start building up this account towards a payout and get a buffer going on it, it's going to be really nice. And as long as now, you keep those losses small on the other side. One thing I like about the ESS, the Equity Stability Score, is that it's going to force you to keep your losses and your wins at a manageable level. You're not going to be hitting for home runs and you're not going to be taking monster losses. You just can't. Or else you're going to put yourself in a position where you're going to need to make 10 grand on a 50K account to take a payout. So I love it. I love the concept of that, to be honest. I think learning to trade, I think these are the kind of things that are going to help you. And so that was my one trade, and I was done. Coming looking at the calendar, she's setting up good. So what I'm going to do is I'm starting to understand. I have two 150K accounts straight to funded that are not copy trading anymore, and I'm only copy trading these 7 accounts. You're only able to copy trade one kind of account, whether it's a pro account or just a straight to funded original account. Something to keep in mind, there's when you try to do it, there's things that will stop you from doing it and you won't be able to do it. So something to really keep in mind. But I'm copy trading these 7 accounts, and then those other two 150K accounts are going to be either my feeler accounts where I take a feeler trade, or if I just want to see later in the day I want to take another trade, I'm going to trade now 3 sets of accounts basically. The 750Ks and then the 150Ks, I'm going to trade them separately. So it gives me, at the end of the day, if I really want to be one and done in one account, I can still take 2 more trades in the other 2 accounts and work out my day from there. So looking at the calendar, yeah, I'm happy with it. This is my first day trading these accounts. I'm up 870 total on 7 accounts, but again, like I said, it's slowly stacking these wins. So looking forward to it. Right now, 55% off any account. If you understand trailing drawdown, I would definitely trade these pro accounts. The payout side, the ROI on these is insane. Any questions, reach out. Any want me to explain the equity stability score, any of these things, I'm just shoot me a message, comment, anything. You know how to get a hold of me. All my socials, the Randy Baines, hit me up. And yeah, 55% off of anything right now. TopOne Futures. Use the code TRB, and then every purchase you make, I'm going to give you an entry into the straight to funded 50K Pro account giveaway. I'm going to be giving away 1 straight to funded account. So every entry on TopOne Futures using the code TRB is going to get you that. So thank you. As always, grateful. Love you guys. Enjoy the day. I will see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.